The next feature I want to build is the Save My Spot. So on the event page, basically we have this button Save My Spot, and if I click it, I want to have a kind of a pop-up where the user puts their name and email so a spot can be saved for them for the event. Now in the next video, we're going to send this information to the CRM that the client might use. But in this video, I want to, number one, build this pop-up, which is going to be easy because we're going to use a Reloom ready-made component. But the more interesting thing here is that besides these two fields where the user actually inputs content, we also want to create a hidden field that sends the name of the event back to the client, because at the end of the day, the client needs to know which event do you want to save spot to. Now, we don't want the client to have to type in the event, because if they are on a specific event, and remember, this is a CMS content, so they're on a dynamic collection page here, we basically want to grab this information from the CMS, which is what event specifically are we on in this page, and then send that information hidden in the background along with this form to the client's CRM. So this is what we want to do right now. So it's going to be basically, we're going to do 3 steps. Number one is we're going to build this CMS page, because actually, if we go here into our website, into our events template page, it's empty, because when we imported the pages from Reloom, basically the event page, here you go, it's event static page. It's built as a static page in here. So the first thing we need to do is basically copy that and paste that inside of the template. Let's go to the template page, paste that here. And of course, we need to go and connect all of these text to the CMS. And we've done that multiple times in the past. So I'm not going to manually do that. I don't want to waste your time, but obviously pick each one of the text elements, connect it to the data from the CMS. What we do want to do is make sure that when we click Save My Spot, actually, we also don't need this button, we open up a pop-up. So how do we do that? Well, Reloom already has this as a component. So I'm going to use the Reloom Chrome extension right now to find this component, but you can also do this just in Google if you write Reloom contact model, and you can just copy it from here if you don't use the Chrome extension like I do. Here's another one. Here's contact model 1. So let's just copy it from here, right? So let's copy this here, the content model, and let's go here and let's paste this somewhere inside of the main. So I'm going to paste that. And let's see what we have. So we have now a new section that is called Contact Model. And you can see that it has a button that says Open Model. So let me preview this and click this button. And we've got this model working here. Now, this is really, really cool and a time saver. Of course, we could have gone in and set this up ourselves. And you can figure out how this works here. You can go and see that we've got this interaction here that is called Contact Model Open. And we've got this open animation and close animation. And you can basically see how this works, right? So we have a div that's called Contact Model. It's being shown. There's opacity and then an animation. But it's not difficult to do it on your own, but it's such a huge time saver to just copy it from Reloom. So here's the button that does that. And here's actually the content model component. So we can go ahead and unhide this. Let's turn this into block, or actually flex, so that we can edit this model. First of all, we don't need this message, so we can delete this. We can delete this terms inside. We can change this to Save My Spot. And also here, Save My Spot, Save Spot. Okay, so we've got the model. And as I've mentioned, we want to add a hidden field here that basically sends the name of the event, right? So this event, for example, is Typography Roundtable, but of course it can be any other event. So the way to do that is to add a little bit of custom code that is connected to the CMS. Now, I never remember this code by heart, as you might have seen so far. So I always Google Webflow hidden field form and get to this article, which basically gives me the code here. So I'm just going to copy one input, and we're going to see this in a second, how we're editing this. So I'm copying this, and again, following the steps, adding an embed element inside of my form. So let's see where the form is. So this is the form. By the way, it would be actually a good idea to go and give this a name so that we know, because we have multiple forms here. We've got newsletter, we've got all kinds of different things. So this is Save Spot. This is the name of the form. We've got contact name and contact email. That's okay. And let's see what we've got. Okay, so inside here, let's go ahead and add a code embed, right? So I'm going to hit Command E, code embed. Fantastic. And I'm going to paste this. Now you can see, let's try to read this together, although we're not coder. Input. So that basically means that the field type hidden That's great. Class, form, item, field hidden. Okay. ID, attribute, channel. So this ID is basically correlates to what we've got here. So let's call this event dash name. And also name, let's change this to event name. Okay. So this is basically similar to the name of the fields that we had here, so that when we're getting the email or when we're syncing this to the client's CRM, we'll know what this content is. Now the value here, we can delete this value, and instead of this, you can see we've got this purple, which hints that this is CMS content, add field. And we can choose here now content from the CMS, right? So in this case, we want the event name. So let's put the event name here. So basically what you see here is that we've got an input field in the form that contains data that is being pulled dynamically from the CMS. I'm going to hit save and close this, and we're going to go ahead and test this in a second. Let me put this above the buttons. Okay. Let's actually go ahead and hide this content model component. Go ahead and hide it. And also one thing that I want is I want to apply the interaction to open the model on this button here. So I'm going to go to interactions. I'm going to add on mouth click, and I'm going to select an animation. And we've got content model open here created for us. You can preview this. Fantastic. And that's it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and publish this so that we can test out and see if the form actually submits this dynamic content. Okay, so we are on this event page. I'm going to hit save my spot. I'm going to click here, run, testing, and then blah, blah, blah is my email, and then save spot. And the form was submitted successfully. So let me go into our project settings here and just check under the forms. And I'm going to go here to the forms. And down here, I can see that a few seconds ago, a form was submitted. You can see content name, run testing, content email, blah, blah, blah. And we also have another field that is called event name that is sent typography roundtable east and east west. So all of this data was sent, although I didn't literally fill in this event name, it was sent dynamically. So this is really, really great. We've created a dynamic pop-up, and in the next video, we'll connect it to the client's systems.